don't know how long this video will be, but, let's see. I saw something on the internet over the weekend about how Mick Schumacher might be getting replaced by Nico Hulkenberg, and I'm just left here thinking, why? And this isn't something that's just been made up by some Twitter account for clicks and clout either. This has been reported by The Race, ESPN, Motorsport.com and other outlets, so this thing is carrying some weight, and apparently the decision has already been made. And Gunther Steiner is said to be impressed by how determined Hulkenberg is to get back into the sport. Steiner has also said that he would like a driver with experience to partner Kevin Magnussen to get the car further up the grid, to the heights of the 2016 top 10 qualifying days and so on. But this comes at a cost. The guy who is currently in that car. And for Hulkenberg to step in and take over, that's going to upset a few people, because the driver being kicked to the curb as a result is none other than Mick Schumacher, a kid who has come into Formula 1 to a lot of expectation, carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. But not just the weight of the world, but the weight of the world, the moon, Jupiter, and Jupiter's moons on his shoulders. He is the son of statistically the second greatest driver of all time. There's that expectation, that want for Mick to one day end up in a Ferrari like his dad, and this is going to knacker everything. And it might be causing some of this trouble, actually. And I say this because Haas is one of two teams on the grid that doesn't have a full driver lineup for 2023, and this year's silly season has been, well, silly. Let's have a recap. Vettel announced his retirement, and straight away Alonso is reported to move to Aston Martin to replace him, meaning it's likely Piastri will finally drive for Alpine, but Alpine didn't renew his contract, so Mark Webber manages to orchestrate the move to McLaren, shafting two IndyCar drivers in the process, and that pushes out Ricciardo, who isn't wanted by Alpine, so they signed Gasly instead, leaving an open slot at AlphaTauri, which is now filled by De Vries, who was rumoured to go to Williams, but they've booted Latifi and still not found a replacement that was rumoured to be Sargent. I think I got all that in. I'm not doing another take. And with Williams having options internally, it means that Mick might be on the sidelines too. His time at the Ferrari Driver Academy seems to be coming to an end, and while since his Monaco shunt the results have gotten better, with points at Silverstone and the Red Bull Ring, since then he's failed to finish higher than 14th. He is beating Magnussen now, but for Ferrari, it might be a case of being too little too late. Ferrari isn't pulling that same "this year is his real rookie season" card that a lot of people online seem to be playing. By that logic, this is Russell's true rookie season because his Williams cars were gash up until now, and if you're going to compare the two, one spent half the season struggling to beat a guy who was out of the sport for 12 months, the other is beating Lewis Hamilton. So then let's look at why Mick might be kicked to the curb, as horrible as that sounds. Well, the problem for Mick might lie that he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and as the race pointed out, he might have at one point looked like a solid number 2 driver for Ferrari alongside Leclerc. But then Carlos Sainz appeared, and Carlos has since signed a new contract to extend that time at Ferrari, and it's just going to leave Mick at Haas not doing anything really. And Ferrari aren't going to want to keep him in at Haas when the likes of Schwartzman and Eilert also exist, and Eilert had a way better rookie season in Formula 2 than Mick did. And I know people will say, but he won F2, but so did Hulkenberg, so did Maldonado, so did Jolyon Palmer. A driver with Mick's pedigree should be winning seasons first time. Not so much convincingly, but winning them first time. Not deciding that mid-season in Season 2 he's going to start performing. And checking the results of Mick's rookie F2 season, he didn't beat Latifi, who is getting sticked left, right and centre for being awful. He finished behind Eilert and Aiken as well. Then when he won it, it was due to consistency rather than getting wins. Considering the year Russell won, he demolished the field in his rookie season against arguably a higher standard of drivers. But he's just an overrated Brit, apparently. And Mick does seem a nice guy. I mean, I can't confirm, I've never met him, but he does seem a nice guy, and could one day be a consistent mid-grid driver. But for me, he lacks that certain X-factor that we've seen from the likes of Verstappen, Alonso, Raikkonen, Hamilton, Senna, and even his dad to an extent, and we'll brush on that in a minute. The sort of driver where they're in the car for one session and it's the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at his TV meme going, yes, that's the guy. And it's not just me saying this, some of the other outlets are saying this too. But I guess they're just British media just ragging on Mick because of 1994, right? But when it comes to Mick, is there really that little bit of blindness because of his last name? I mean, his name is Mick Schumacher. Mick is short for Michael. By extension, his name is Michael Schumacher. There used to be a Michael Schumacher racing in Formula 1 that was very successful and very popular, driving for Ferrari, and that's what people want to see, Mick in a Ferrari. But like I said, maybe in a few years he could end up being a driver like Fisichella, like Trulli, like Frentzen, who were very good in mid-grid cars, but just lack that certain X-factor, that certain va-va-voom, that certain je ne sais quoi to go to the next level. Maybe it's a case of, realistically, he's here, but we want him and think that he's here, if that makes any sense. It might be a case of nature versus nurture, which doesn't really work in Formula 1, at least not today anyway. Look at drivers like Verstappen, Hamilton, Senna, Clark, God-given talents behind the wheel. Similarly, look at Lionel Messi or Wayne Gretzky, who are just freaks of nature better than anybody else without even trying. Michael was a talented driver, but he lacked that extra bit that the likes of Senna had, so he worked his arse off to reach the top. Cristiano Ronaldo and Rafa Nadal, the same. Rosberg, to an extent. You look at drivers like Jackie Stewart, where if you were going to apply stats to them like a FIFA Ultimate Team card, you'll maybe have a talent level of 90 but a work ethic or grind stat of 99, while Clark is a 96 in natural talent. Michael is in that same boat, lacking that natural ability of Senna but made it up by working way harder, being a 92 talent with a 99 work ethic. But Mick's talent to grind and work ethic stat may be closer to 77 with a potential of 82, whereas Senna might have been a 97 and 98 with a work ethic of 95. The problem is, with Formula 1 being so restrictive in terms of how things are done, I mean, they get 2 weeks of testing before the season starts, and that's it. People need to hit the ground running. They want results yesterday. It's not like the days of the 90s where, Jacques Villeneuve was given like 6 months of solid testing by Williams prior to joining for 1996, and Schumacher, famous for having loads and loads of private testing done at Maranello and places like that, and basically being able to grind his way to the top. While Mick is beating Kevin now, there hasn't been any points since Austria. And instead of going, okay, one more season, let's see how he's going to get on, they're basically saying, no, we need someone that's a next level above now. We can't wait for him. But is that level above really Hulkenberg? I just think that they might have a like-for-like swap at this point in terms of performance. I mean, in experience, Hulk can make a difference, well, at least for Kevin anyway, but it's a gamble where you can easily lose either way. Why a driver who has done a couple of cameo appearances in the last couple of years due to driver illness and things like that, and is now 35 years old? The same Hulkenberg that had people saying, he's had it, he's never going to get the podium, give up, what a meme, bin him off and get someone who can actually get the car on the podium. And then the second he was out of a seat, start crying that he deserved a seat. I mean, really, is it the right choice? Or would maybe bringing Grosjean back be a bit more of a solid banker, given that he's actually still racing and has in the past shown flashes of being able to outperform his cars, at least when he's got his head screwed on properly? Or is Gunther just banking on how reliable Hulk is? Not necessarily in getting results above expectation, but due to the fact that when it comes to shunts, he doesn't really have any. It could be that Haas will just get the same return whoever they pick, so why bother? So then, a quick look at the internet rumours speculating that Mick could be replaced by the Hulkster. If you've got opinions on this, do leave them in the comments section underneath this video. And while you're scrolling down, like the video if you think I made some good points, and subscribe with the bell on so you never miss out on anything I do here. Massive thanks to the kind folk at Patreon for the support, and if you want to support me at a more personal level, you can help out by following the link in the description, as well as finding links there to Discord and to the social media side of things, where I just post whatever my brain is thinking. So until next time, I've been AdmiralLaWind. Have a cracking day wherever you live in the world, and I'll see you all again soon for another video. Goodbye.